My name is Connor McMacken, and I work with the e-construction team out of the central office. Helping me out with this presentation today is award-winning actor and inspector Jeff Jekyll. Our presentation is called A Technical Day in the Life of an Inspector. In this presentation, we're going to kind of walk through a typical day, highlighting the technologies inspectors use, give some pointers, some tips and tricks, preview some new things we got going on, and share some information on educational resources and some helpful contacts. Start off with first thing in the morning and work our way throughout the day, all the way to the end of the workday, then cover some things you could be doing if you have a rain day or some extra time back in the office. So, Jeff, what sort of things are you doing first thing in the morning?
Well, the first thing I do is check the weather for the day. Then I'll check my texts and emails to be sure the contractor or CM hasn't tried to communicate any change of plans for the work being done. Maybe if there's rain in the forecast, the contractor would be letting me know that they won't be on site that day.
Sounds about right. And just curious, what weather app do you usually use?
I just use the weather app on my phone. Why?
Well, nothing wrong with that, but I do want to point out that the VDOT 511 app does have some weather features that can come in handy. Let's check out this video. All right, so when you open the VDOT 511 app, you land here. Now, if we go click this layers button in the upper right, toggle on the precipitation switch. Let's go back to our map. You can see a layer has been added that shows a radar of all precipitation happening in whatever area you're viewing. If you go back to this layers button, down to weather sensors, you can see here various data on weather. Some useful ones might be air temperature, temperature, or pavement condition. Let's go ahead and toggle on air temperature. Go back to our map. Now, anywhere you see any of these cloud symbols, you can click on that. It'll bring up your weather data here.
That's cool. I'll have to check that out.
Happy to help. Moving on to arriving to the project site, what are you doing then, Jeff?
At that point, I'll communicate with the contractor staff about what is planned for the day, whether that's face to face or through text or a phone call, depending on the situation and site. I'll check my email again just to be sure there aren't any other important communications about the days or weeks work ahead, and I'll respond if necessary. I'll get the iPad fired up and get logged into any apps or websites I might need to use throughout the day. Maybe if I didn't submit the DWR from the previous day, I'll go in and finalize that. Or maybe if I'm on a job with day and night shifts working, I'll check the previous shift's DWR to see what work was done.
Sounds good. I do have one pointer for you that might help you get the iPad all set up and ready for the day's work, and that is bookmarking websites. So we recommend any website that you're going to be visiting frequently, you bookmark on whatever web browser you're using on your iPad or phone. So this video will show you how to do that. So here we have the Dottie website opened up on the Safari app on an iPad. To bookmark any website on the iPad, you go up to the upper right, click the share button, go down, click add bookmark, give it whatever title you please, click save. Then, when you're opening a new tab, all your bookmarks will appear here. Click on one of those, it'll take you right to that website. Now, while we're here on the Dottie page, I do kind of want to go over what you can find here. You got news, quick links to things like Cardinal, V.U, many more upcoming events, our people, our work around VDOT. Then you got these tiles for each district, and I do recommend if you have some free time, check out your district's hub where you can find more information and resources. Links to social media underneath that. Another useful section here you can find. Go up here to project development and delivery, the drop down, go to construction, scroll down, construction management right here. And here you can find all sorts of helpful information. You got your manuals and reference documents, templates and tools, resources and guidance, construction forms, materials forms, and a whole lot of other stuff on these pages. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, bookmarking definitely makes it easier to get to any websites I need to use throughout the day. And it seems like there's a lot of good information on the Dottie site.
Yes, indeed. Now moving on to throughout the workday, we'll kind of break it down into each specific app or technology here. Starting off with the big one, PlanGrid. What do you usually do with PlanGrid, Jeff?
Yeah, PlanGrid is definitely the technology that we use most throughout the day. I mainly use it to fill out any reports, forms, or checklists that need to be submitted for the day. I can also view and mark up plan sheets, check specs, contract documents, and any other reference documents I might need. You can also upload photos and videos of the work being done, and occasionally I have to use the task workflow if there are any issues brought up. Do you have anything to add on PlanGrid?
I do actually. Um, so one thing I want to remind everyone about is the reference docs folder in the documents section on PlanGrid. That's where you can find things like pocketbooks, hand or pocket guides and handbooks. Um, Other thing we want to talk about is attaching photos directly to a DWR instead of just throwing them in the Photos tab, and also captioning your photos. Let's check out this video to show you how to do all that. Okay, so here we are in a PlanGrid project in the mobile app. Now if you head down to the Documents tab and into the Reference Document folder, this is where you can find things like pocket guides, handbooks, and checklists. Now, say you want to upload your photos for the day. We recommend to do that by actually attaching them to your DWR. So let's open a DWR. You can add them here, scrolling down to the photos section, clicking this add button. Take the photos directly from here, or you can select from your photo library. Select the photo you want to add, click done. That way your photos are associated with a daily work report. Now, to give your photo a caption, click on it, click the details button up here, click here in the title field, give it a brief description. We'll call this striping, mile marker 81, turn, and go back. As you can see, the title is updated here, and that just helps those viewing project photos that might not be on site understand what's going on in the photos. All right, moving on to the e-ticketing portal. Have you used the e-ticketing portal yet, Jeff?
No, I haven't used it yet, but I have heard good things. What sort of things will we be doing with the e-ticketing portal?
Yeah, so the portal essentially replaces the need for the traditional paper tickets method. Here in the portal, you can log tickets, mark them pending, delivered, rejected, view old tickets, run reports. For example, there's a report that will show you all the tickets delivered in a day and all the data and quantities associated with that. Um, Couple things on the portal. We are working towards mandating the use of the portal for hot mix asphalt paving projects starting in 2026. So we're really trying to get as many folks and their projects involved this year as we can, so it's not such a big change next year. Um, Another good thing about the portal is that we're working on an AWP integration that would take all of the quantity data gathered in the portal and automatically sync it with the AWP DWRs. So that should be good for you inspectors who have to deal with the dual entry issue. Here at the link on the slide, you can go there, Haul Hub U, and create a free account. Check out some videos and courses they have there if you have some extra free time. Let's check out this video, kind of walk us through the mobile app for the e-ticketing portal. Here we have the e-ticketing portal mobile app, also called eDot Inspector. When you open the app, you land on the Today page, which would show you any projects that are currently active for that day. Just so happens that the day I record this, there's no active projects. Click this green button to manage tickets. You can enter the last four digits of the ticket to pull it up, change the status to pending, delivered, or rejected, and add inspector notes such as plant temperature, field temperature, and so on. If you go to the My Projects page, you'll see any projects that you're associated with. Click on a project and you're at a project overview that shows tickets by day. Click on a day, you can see all the tickets for that day. Click on a ticket, you can see all sorts of raw ticket data, the audit log, any test results, and any photos. And then you have some actions you can perform with each ticket, like marking the ticket as delivered or rejected, or editing your inspector notes, and more. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I can definitely see some benefits from having all that information stored digitally as opposed to the traditional paper tickets methods. I look forward to trying it out myself.
Awesome. So moving on to AWP. One thing I do want to mention about AWP is that it can now be accessed on mobile devices. You will need to have cell service to access it. Not available totally offline yet. But that includes AWP and the plugins as well. So you could do CPE out in the field instead of having to go wait till you get back to the office to do that. Um, Anyway, what sort of things do you usually do with AWP, Jeff?
Yeah, I do usually use AWP back in the office, so it's good to know that I can do it on site now. As far as what I do with AWP, most of the time I'm there to enter certain DWR information like quantities and other payment processing information. Sometimes I need to submit CPE reports, and occasionally I need to run a project specific report.
Yep, sounds about right. Let's check out this video. Here we have the AWP website pulled up on Safari on the iPad. As you can see, it looks pretty much identical to what you would see on a laptop. All the plugins available here. And here's CPE on the iPad as well. So just in case you needed some proof that it works on an iPad, there you go. Now circling back to the V.511 app, what other things are you doing with V.511, Jeff?
Normally, I just go on there to check work zone status, just making sure that the contractor is entering that information into VA traffic so that it shows up correctly on the app. But now I might be using it for those weather features you showed to us earlier too.
Awesome. Glad I can show you something new today. Here we are again on the V.511 app. You click on the traffic cone symbol associated with your project. Box will pop up. Shows a brief description of the work zone. And that video is just showing you how to do the normal things you're used to with the V.511 app in case you didn't know already. Moving on to the end of the workday, what are you doing then, Jeff?
At the end of the day, I'm finalizing and submitting reports, forms, or checklists in PlanGrid that I worked on throughout the day, making sure all my photos are uploaded and have a proper title, as you pointed out earlier. Ensuring anything I need to enter into AWP is entered. If my project was using e-ticketing, I'll double check all the tickets from the day are accurate. And if there's any documentation that needs to be updated in PlanGrid, SharePoint, or DSRM, I'll do that as well.
Sounds about right. Um, Now let's say you have some free time, Jeff. What are you usually doing with that free time?
What's free time? Well, if I have any, sometimes I'll go into V.U and take some trainings that might be suggested to me.
Yep, that's a good use of that time. I am going to point out a few other things you could be doing, starting with MITs and project estimating tools. Um, MITs is good for viewing mixed designs and TL102s. Project estimating tools. The most commonly used one is the statewide bid tab query tool. That used to be called the Stanton bid tab query tool, but it was recently updated and renamed. And with these two technologies here, we know some inspectors might already be using it, some might not, some might have never even heard of them. So if you're in that last boat, maybe if you have some free time, just check them out, familiarize yourself a little bit, because they do come in handy in certain scenarios. Now let's talk about the eCon portal and what all you can find there. We'll check out this video. Here we are on the SharePoint mobile app on the iPad. To find the site you're looking for, use the search bar. Here we have the econ portal. I do recommend to follow any site that you'll be at frequently. Clicking the three dots up here, follow this site. That way, back at your home page, go here to more sites, following, and you'll see any followed sites here. Let's go back to the portal. So in the econ portal, we have a link here to DSRM. We have internal district project sites for each district. We have news, customer service actions like submitting a help request or idea, tracking those requests, feedback form, and more. Here we have software training and resource pages, a launch pad for any other applications, and some other miscellaneous resources. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out the econ portal. A lot of good stuff you can find there. On to V.U. Most of you guys should be familiar with V.U. We are working on some courses involving e-ticketing. So hopefully those will be up somewhat soon. Um, TC3 courses are always good. There's courses on PlanGrid and AWP there as well. Let's check out this video. Here we have the v.u website pulled up on the iPad. This is the home page where you can see the course catalog, training transcript, event calendar, and contacts. Let's check out the course catalog. Here you'll see a list of any courses available to you. You can also search for a course using the search bar here. Now for the training transcript, this is where you'll go to see what courses you've completed, and you can also see an expiration date as well. Now, something that can help you figure out what courses you could or should be taking on v.u is this role-based learning plans dashboard. Let's check out the video on that. Here we have the role-based learning plans dashboard. Let's go to construction. This field, you can choose the role. We'll go construction inspection. Right here, you can sort by the requirement level. And as you can see, we have those TC3 courses we mentioned. Plenty of those, along with many other courses, some of which you may have already taken, some of which you may have never heard of. Special thanks to Robert Pettit for sharing this dashboard with us. If you have questions or issues with it, his contact info is here on this slide. We also have the eConstruction YouTube channel. Here you can find some videos on PlanGrid, DSRM, AWP, and more. Got a link to it on the slide as well. Now, who to contact with ideas? You may have seen emails about it, but we currently have the Construction Innovation Campaign running. That's an idea driver campaign where you can go submit any ideas you have for new technology, modifications to technology that we already use, or changes, process changes, anything. That'll be open through March 28th. Even if you don't have any ideas of your own, I highly recommend going and voting and commenting on other ideas that have been submitted there. Um, Now, after this campaign is over, you can still go to Idea Driver at any time and submit any ideas you have using the link on this slide as well. You can also call 800-4ROAD and mention that you have an innovative idea. Lastly, you can always submit an eCon ticket at the eCon portal that we talked about earlier. Clicking that Submit a Help Request or Idea button. QR code here on the screen will take you to the Innovation Campaign website. Now, who to contact with issues with technology. The table here on the slide shows the name, email, and phone number of each district's SME. We recommend that you reach out to your district SME to see if it's an issue they can help solve. If not, you can always submit an eCon ticket through the eCon portal by clicking that Submit a Help Request or Idea button that is also linked at the bottom of the slide. And that concludes our presentation. If you have any questions about anything you saw in this presentation, feel free to reach out to me. My name and email are on the slide here, and you can message or call me on Microsoft Teams. Thank you.